another installment of Husker Chat with Sean Callahan, the publisher of Husker Online. It's brought to you by Acres Equipment as Nebraska looks to stay undefeated on the season with a huge game this Saturday at home against Michigan. Sean, after a couple of layups, I would think Husker Nation's probably ready for a Big Ten action to get underway.
Yeah, I think the last 2 weeks have been really good in a lot of respects, just to develop the roster, get some confidence, play a lot of players, put up some numbers. I mean, Jayson, there haven't been back-to-back weeks like that in a long time. And look, Nebraska's played some bad teams over the years, and they haven't won like that. So I do think there's some things to hang your hat on. But yeah, now it's time to move forward. I think you really need to see where this football team is at, and a roster like Michigan full of 4- and 5-star guys coming to Lincoln, you're going to get a great chance here on Saturday.
Okay, what's your take on where Nebraska's at? Do you have a good feeling or sense at this point how good this team is?
They're significantly better on offense. I really believe that. They're significantly better on special teams. I think the defense is a developing unit, and that's kind of the question right now. How much further do they have to go? Can they schematically put something together up front to be consistent enough to get off the field in the Big Ten? They were pretty consistent against Cincinnati until Sorsby started running the ball. I mean, they called 8 or 9 design run plays for him in that game in week 1 because they weren't able to throw. And I do think that's a positive. The secondary right now has been outstanding. They have not allowed a pass play longer than 19 yards all year. They're the only defense in the country that can say that. I still question, though, do they have the muscle up front to win early downs consistently in the Big Ten Conference when you know the types of teams that they're going to face here throughout the next 9 games?
What's your read on Michigan? A lot of talent. You got the mess with Coach Moore not being there, although after they dropped one to Oklahoma, they really focused in last week against Central Michigan.
You know, they always have talent. They've for the last 100 years. I mean, I don't think that's a surprise, but they did lose 4 top 100 defensive NFL draft picks last year off the defense. So I think their defense is very much a developing unit, and their offense with Bryce Underwood is still trying to figure out their way. Underwood hasn't played a lot of college football. He hasn't seen a lot of defensive looks, and I do think Nebraska will come at him with a lot of different looks, a lot of different packages. I think the question is, will Michigan revert back to some of the old Jim Harbaugh ways of trying to be physical, or do they want to play as they have all year? And without Sharon Moore there, I mean, there's a thought that Chip Lindsey will kind of divert the way he wants to, where I think Sharon Moore, not a fan of running the quarterback and doing things like that. Now, on the year, Bryce Underwood's only had 4 design run plays. The other runs have all just been breakdowns on pass plays. So you have to expect that when Nebraska's secondary covers something up, he's going to take off and run. And what will the plan be there? Because I do think that will be probably the most difficult part of their offense to game plan for.
Also, you have to figure, and you touched on it earlier, you have to figure that Michigan's going to come in and at least test that Nebraska up front early on. I would think could go heavy and try to just run the ball.
Yeah, and I think Nebraska will try to go more 4-man front. I just don't know if they're built to play 3-man front a lot in this game, other than maybe passing downs. But on your traditional rundowns, I just think they're going to have to play with 4 defensive linemen and adjust accordingly with the back end. You've got also Deshaun Singleton, who can play big and play physical in the box. I mean, there's just a lot of things. The cornerbacks need to be there on the run game more and run fit better, because if they're able to run Justice Haynes and get him free, it's going to open up the play action and other things. And nobody's really tested the secondary. It's been outstanding through 3 games. I mean, Cia Wright's only allowed 1 catch through 3 games, and it was a 4-yard catch against Cincinnati. So I do think the play of that secondary has been the real strength of the defense. And if you can make them be a factor, that's going to greatly increase Nebraska's chances to win this game.
Today we're talking with Sean Callahan of Husker Online, talking about the big Husker game coming up on Saturday at home against Michigan. Sean, how about when Nebraska has the ball? The offensive line has played better, but they're going to be tested on Saturday. You mentioned Michigan lost some guys to the NFL, but they still have plenty of talent on that defensive front.
And they'll heat it up. I mean, they're no stranger to zero blitzes and things like that. And, last 2 weeks, Raiola has not been touched. I mean, he's been touched when he takes off and runs, but in terms of sacks and contact in the pocket, he's been untouched. So he's going to come in pretty confident, pretty fresh. The way Dylan Raiola has thrown the football, especially in rhythm, he's been as good as anybody in the country the last 2 weeks. And I think Michigan's going to do whatever they can to make sure he's out of rhythm. And so what will that look like? And Dylan, will he be able to pre-snap diagnose some of these things coming his way? Because that will be part of the chess match. I think both coordinators are going to try to confuse these younger quarterbacks and get them off balance.
Looks like the weather on Saturday should be fantastic. Being an old soul myself, I love this 2:30 big game on CBS. I mean, that's the way it used to be.
Michigan, Nebraska. I mean, yeah, you get the helmets and the CBS college football music. It is going to be a great day in Lincoln, and 78 degrees, 80 degrees tops. I mean, just perfect weather for a game like this. Now, a week ago, it was hot. I mean, the actual temperature feel was over 100 in the stadium. And God bless the Nebraska fans to ride through that Houston Christian game, because that was one of the hotter games you'll go through. But I don't think we'll see that be a factor. But now Michigan is on that east sideline, so they will get the full sun on them. Unlike, remember back 2 years ago, Nebraska was in the 95-degree full sun when Michigan came to Lincoln in September of 2023.
All right. As always, Sean, we appreciate your time. Hopefully Nebraska shows up, plays well, and everybody has something to smile about come Saturday night.
All right. Hey, thanks, Jayson. Yeah, let's get a good game and get a bye weekend.
And that was Sean Callahan, the publisher of Husker Online, joining us for Husker Chat. We come to you every week. It's brought to you by Acres Equipment. I'm Jayson Jorgensen.